offense, and he kind of answers a lot of the questions about who gets the ball in his offense, how they get the ball, and some of his backstory. So we're going to slide over there real quick and react to that real quick. This is Brennan Marion. Shout out to Duke the Scoop. Go like, comment, and subscribe to his channel. We're going to do a live review. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, nah, if you haven't, Brennan, yeah, he definitely, if you didn't know who Brennan Marion is, we're gonna find out right now.
It's like, my thing, right? And so growing up as a kid, like I had a friend, John, he used to say, he put on Facebook one time, like, we always knew Brennan would be a coach because he was coaching us. Like I was the one making teams.
We kind of all know that dude growing up, right? Skull Buffs. Hey, what up? What up? Yeah, Skull Buffs. We kind of know that dude growing up, bro, who always made the teams, team captain, all-time quarterback. That sounds like who Brennan Marion was.
I would watch all the people in the draft. I remember my mom would take me to the Steelers training camp. I would try to interview and talk to every player and ask them how they got there. Like, I remember sitting there with Rod Woodson for 3 hours one day, LaVon Kirkland.
Oh, man.
I'm sitting with these dudes, Bam Morris. I'm asking them all these questions, trying to figure out, so I was always
too much. What's good? What's good? Hey, if you guys seen this interview, tap in too. If you seen this interview, tap in what you took from it, what you feel was like, what you learned from Brennan Marion, how you feel this offense is going to run in 2026. Appreciate you being in here. Too much. What's the word?
Involved in loving the game. Like my coaches would tell you, I play for Coach Malzahn. Different coaches that I play for, I always be telling them what play we should call, and I was always trying to know the little details of the game, not just what you did as a player. And so,
right,
growing up, we moved so many times. I went.
Let me see here. What's good with everybody though? What's the word, bruh? Brennan Marion basically is talking about in this interview. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to more of the college stuff. This is backstory. You can go back and watch that part his backstory.
For anybody that doesn't know, a full load, 18 hours is the most you're supposed to be able to take.
He hit it.
Oh man, deuces.
And also with Coach Malzahn and Mike Norvell, Todd Graham.
And you were at the recipient of some of those passing yards, clearly as an NCAA record holder.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit because in the interview, a lot of this is his backstory. A lot of this is how he grew up, junior college, JUCO. But I want us to look at the actual, the offense, how his mindset and depth chart and all that. Brennan is a real dude that you respect because he really got out the mud. Facts. He's hungry, and that's the type of guy Coach Prime is bringing in. We're not bringing in people who are, I feel like last season our coaching staff got a little big-headed. They felt like things were just going to fall into place. They lost that grind, that hustle. Allegedly, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that's what happened, but you got to bring in people who are still hungry, who ain't comfortable, who don't feel like everything's just going to fall into place. They're going to do whatever they can.
Well, how much influence did Gus Malzahn in that year have into what you built out as the go-go offense?
Right. I think, obviously with Coach just retiring, right? A lot of people don't try to give coaches flowers, right? But he's a bad man. That dude's he like that. He's one of those guys, right? He really changed football. He's like Mike Leach. He's when Bill Walsh, when you talk about guys that had a heavy impact and influence on football, right? And so
Brennan Marion's been to a lot of programs, bruh. And he's been around a lot of great coaches. So seeing the tree that he falls from under, they always say that apple don't fall too far from the tree, right? So Brennan Marion ain't falling far from a great tree of not only coaches he's been a part of, but programs he's been at. Think Pittsburgh, think UNLV, think Texas. Before that, I think it was Howard or one of them, just one of those guys he's willing to take the risk in order to get where he needs to go. And also somebody who's highly sought out right now. Brennan Marion chose Colorado, but I'm pretty sure after this season, his elevation is going to go up. But not only are you getting Coach Brennan Marion, the offensive coordinator, you're getting a recruiter. You're getting somebody with deep ties to Atlanta, deep ties to Pittsburgh, deep recruiting connections from the East to the West Coast. You got a lot of wide receivers that want to play for Brennan Marion. Number one, they know he played the position. Number two, they know in his offense, you're going to get the opportunity. You might not, everybody's going to be able to eat in his offense. If he got to play for you, he got a spot for you. If you like that and you take advantage of opportunities, that's what he talks about in this interview with Duke to Scoop. Salute to Duke to Scoop. Go like, comment, and subscribe in this channel. Support that, brother. We're going to hear what Brennan Marion is talking about.
Being around him, I think the biggest thing that it gave me was like the confidence to call your own plays, to have your own system, to be innovative, to think like, okay, I did something at this level, I can still do it at this level. Because what people don't, right, and the NFL has figured this out, right? Like, it's still 11 guys, one football, 100-yard field, 2 field goal posts. It's a simple game. It's a childhood game. But the NFL for a long time, I didn't like the NFL because it wasn't creative, right? Like there was first down run, second down run, third down pass.
The fact is, bro, they're using his offense in Madden. They're using some of his plays in the NFL. A lot of his plays is built off the triple option. And, you can run that with, you don't need a lot of talent to run the triple option. It's what he's created off of that is really innovative, bro. So if we don't know, now Brennan Marion is one of them ones when it comes to offensive coordinator. And for us, what were we doing? Last season, we were calling for Shermer. We were calling for Brett Bartolone. Coach Prime heard it, and not only us, like he's seen it. Like he knew we needed something new. In order for Julian Lewis to flourish, we needed a system that works for him too. All of that goes into the hiring of an offensive coordinator.
4th down punt. Like it was very
mundane.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Very methodical, right? You knew exactly what would happen. Yep. Now you see the NFL being more creative than college. Like the NFL is more innovative and creative than college. Like college coaches have really fell off because a lot of college coaches are chasing the bag instead of chasing the impact that they can make. They don't feel like they can be different or unique. They feel like they have to, they don't want to look bad if they try something or do something. And a guy like Gus, a guy like Mike Leach, those guys had the confidence to come into college football and say, you know what, I'm trying this and I'm going to make it work. Like Gus told us on the first day, like we're going to be the top offense.
You see, so when we understand the and I don't think he's shown his full hand with the go-go just yet. I believe we will see another layer with this year's. Absolutely. Especially going into the Big 12 where we know defensive coordinators are trying to get a jump on him right now. There's the defensive coordinators trying to study his offense right now. The beautiful thing, the element that we have, even coming out Georgia Tech, he can show something that we've never seen before on film, something that they've never studied. You give somebody this amount of time with this amount of new players that are better than FCS level. Let's keep it real. When you get to a Power 4 level, you're going to have better, faster, stronger guys. You should, if you're jumping from an FCS to a Power 4 level. So now you're just giving him more alignments. You got Scudero, Perry, Gibson, more. I mean, woo! Yeah, if we don't score 30 a game, bro, I feel sorry for whoever played this year. I hope you 12-0. That's a fact, Ernest Smith. Welcome back, brother. Yeah, so the he doesn't fall far from a great coaching tree, and he's been picking up, learning all these concepts from great coaches, from his tenure up until now with Coach Prime Deion Sanders.
In college football, I remember Gus called me when he was recruiting Cam Newton and said, if I get Cam Newton, I guarantee we'll win the national championship. Right? And he did.
There it is.
And with the unorthodox system, like that wasn't like everybody's system, right? Not everybody was running that. Not everybody was doing that. He was bringing the high school Friday game to college, right? And so I remember when I went to the Dolphins, when I signed with the Dolphins, Coach Henning, the offense coordinator at the time, he was asking me like, man, talk me through some of Gus's plays, like because the Dolphins were trying to run the Wildcat with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams.
Oh yeah, I remember that time, bro. Everybody remember when the Dolphins was running the Wildcat with Ronnie Brown and them. But yeah, Brennan Marion signed as an undrafted free agent with the Dolphins. Unfortunately, he had a knee injury that really derailed his career, but averaged 30 yards a catch at Tulsa, which brings us to why wide receivers are like, bro, he doesn't even have to recruit. You got receivers that are hitting him trying to get to Colorado, bro. It's a next level. Players pay attention to all that. Scheme. Can I get the ball? How are they going to scheme me open? So, man, he comes from a great lineage, bro, of coaching staffs. Not only head coaches, but position coaches, wide receiver coaches, other offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches.
Williams. Yep. And he was asking me, like, talk me through some of these plays that y'all ran. And I was able to, communicate with him and let him know like why we ran certain plays.
Man, that's crazy. I wish I'd have known. I wasn't even thinking. I just had Ronnie Brown on maybe like a week and a half ago. That's my guy, man.
Yeah.
And I would remember him saying, having a little bit of trepidation about the Wildcat, right? Because it's like, man, we're going to do what?
Yeah, Duke the Scoop got his own Auburn. Like the way he covers Colorado, he covers Auburn as well. He got a lot of ties with Auburn. Salute to Duke the Scoop, bro. Go like, comment, and subscribe to that brother's channel. Go show him some love. Run it up over there. But yeah, he definitely has his ties with Auburn as well.
And him ending up being, basically born out of necessity, right? With the injuries they had at quarterback, and then seeing how it worked and everybody taking off with it. Speaking of everybody taking off, I'm watching. I just want to know what your mindset. I'm watching college football playoffs. I'm watching a particular team, and I said,
we're trying to get to some of them.
For me, nothing but love for you. The people that don't, you got to still watch it when you add option routes to everything.
Oh, there
coaches that, man, he think he better than us because he's like.
It's a gimmick.
My bad. I shouldn't have
right. Like when I talk to guys who really been in this game a long time, I get a lot more respect from guys who've been in this game a long time. Right. There's a, for the 100 coaches that respect me and want to see me win, there's 100 coaches that,
Yeah, you know how that goes. Who's this offensive coordinator who created his own system? Who's running this offense? He's like the, when you got the hot dude, you got the hot, young, innovative, offensive-minded offensive coordinator that these guys have been trying to get jobs for years and just can't get through to get those type of positions. And you get somebody, of course, you're going to have your haters. You're going to have people who support you and you have people who don't support you. That's just how it goes, right? That's with anything in life. You good at something, people are going to like you for it. Then if you're too good at something, people are going to find reasons to not like you. That's just in coaching. That's in playing. That's everywhere.
Man, he think he better than us because he's like.
It's a gimmick.
Yeah, all that, right? But if you really know ball, you understand the fact that the triple option has stood the test of time in football.
Facts.
You understand that the West Coast passing game is foolproof. You understand that when you add option routes to everything, right? And you open it up, like
he dropping real heat right now, y'all. He basically giving us the triple option mixed with the West Coast, mixed with option routes. Yeah, that's why it's unstoppable. Now, I'm not saying it's not unstoppable, but there's so many variations from it, why it stood the test of time.
The defense can never be right? And you can tell that if you can go at a smaller scale, right? If you can take a Howard and beat a FBS team and put up big numbers, if you can take a UNLV and make them top 25 ranked in the country and beat bigger teams, right? You know that if you get a better caliber of player at a bigger program, that the system will continue to run itself, right? And the system will continue to develop and work.
I say less. What we're seeing is basically Brennan Marion explaining the philosophy. He had to sit down in front of Coach Prime Deion Sanders. He had to go to the board. How would you beat this coverage? How would you beat a zone blitz? Show me your press beater. Show me your cover two. All that. Offensive coordinators don't just get hired. They don't just throw the bag at offensive coordinators and give them a job. They got to get on that board. They got to John Gruden style it. You know how just flip right, 38, double, 17, wash, smash, on 6. You know what I'm saying? You got to get on that board and really know what you're talking about. So hiring Brennan Marion was a huge pickup for us because of the concept of knowing how to run the offense. If needed, he could run the team as needed as far as X's and O's, football mindset, knowing what to run against zone, knowing what to run against man, looking at a light box versus a heavy box. You know what I'm saying? Exploiting the mismatch, studying film, okay, we're attacking their defensive end on screens today. Their right side on of screens, they slow-footed on that side. All that goes into Brennan Marion's mindset for sure. Appreciate it if you guys can hit the thumbs up too. If you haven't, if you can hit the thumbs up, I really appreciate it. And also hype this video to help you get out in the algorithm. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's get back to Brennan Marion and Duke the Scoop.
And so from that mindset, like the people that support me, nothing but love for you. The people that don't, you got to still watch the show, right? You still got to watch. You still gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, the TV ain't turning off.
No doubt.
So when I think about the go-go, I think about some of the tendency breakers. Right. When you start, it's almost like, I don't know if you watch wrestling. Anybody who watched wrestling growing up, Ric Flair was really good at finding something like that when he hurt.
Woo! Let me see. And that's what he has now, a bigger program with better players, and the Go-Go Eagles win. And a whole offseason to scheme, too. A whole offseason to game plan, a whole offense, a whole, 5-6 months to scheme against Georgia Tech's defensive coordinator, who loves to bring pressure. There's a new defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech. He loves to blitz. He loves to bring pressure. Yeah. So that's the beauty about the first game, is that there's a new offensive coordinator at Colorado. There's a new defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech. The battle of the minds. Who's going to win? Who's going to out-scheme the other coach?
He just goes on it, and he pounds that tendency, whatever it is. And so when you find something in the offense,
right,
you mess them up. It's like you counterpunch from 4 different angles. Mm-hmm. What is it about your offense that gives you that duality or that multiplicity to be able to attack the same deficiency from multiple angles?
Yeah. Honestly, too, it looked like Brennan Marion is still in the building. Looked like he ain't left. It looked like all the coaching staff is locked in like that, bro. That's the one thing that seems different this year, is how the coaching staff is locked in. Look like he's still in the building at Colorado right now. Let's go.
I think the 2 things that separate us, that make us different, that give us a chance to be, I always say, like, I want to have an offense that gets us to a championship game or gets us to a winning caliber, right? Like, we're not out there just calling cool plays and just trying to, do whatever. Like, we're actually trying to put our team in a position to win, right? And so for us, what makes us unique is, one, my gift in life is bringing people together. Like, I think that's, God just designed me that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've kind of all seen that already with, like, his vibe, which kind of telling us we might be looking at the successor to Coach Prime. Right now, he's there to learn, soak up game, get as much as he can from running a Power 4 program, understanding the business side of it, understanding the X's and O's. But what he just talked about, being a people person, you can already see that from his time in Boulder, playing his music around there, really, especially his story too, coming from a guy who's had to sleep in cars, who was homeless, who had to go out multiple different junior colleges, like, had to sleep in the locker room, in the press box. He has a grind, and he has a hustle, and he's hungry. So naturally, you're going to want like-minded people like that around your team and around your locker room.
If you asked anybody, like, whether I was coaching D2, high school, Colorado, wherever, they're like, Coach Marion going to have the same energy, the same juice. He going to bring everybody together. Like, he's on that, like, every day. Like, Coach, you like that every day? Like, yeah, I'm like that every day.
Right.
I think that's the unique thing about our offense, where it's not one guy doesn't dominate the ball. Multiple guys get a chance to operate, touch the ball, make plays.
Bam. That was the key statement right there. We have the go-go and Boko. Yeah, right on, Saeed. What's good, brother? That was the point I wanted to drive home. Let me see, 1841. Let's go.
Run that every day. Like, Coach, you like that every day? Like, yeah, I'm like that every day.
Right.
I think that's the unique thing about our offense, where it's not one guy doesn't dominate the ball. Multiple guys get a chance to operate, touch the ball, make plays, and have an impact on the game. And I
ain't gonna hold you. I came out with a video earlier in the year, because I keep it real on my channel. I was thinking about how Julian Lewis was going to fare in this offense, how the wide receivers, like Omarion Miller at the time, I thought Omarion Miller was returning. And I was like, man, the go-go offense, because I followed them at Sac State, I was like, man, they run that rock. They run the ball. What, I'm going to admit to is that I didn't take into consideration that was the room that had the most talent at Sacramento State. It was the running back room. Like, so we're going to run the ball. If they can't stop it, we're going to run it. We're going to run it, right? So just listening to him in this interview and saying the way he spreads the ball around, everybody gets touches, everybody gets opportunity, I took that into consideration. Now at a Power 4 level, he has the receivers who has talent, so they're all going to get opportunities to pair with the running backs as well. So now he might not have to rely on the running game as much. It might be more beneficial to run to set up the RPO for the play action for the passing game. It's going to go game by game. So I'm glad he came on and did some clarification for that, to where, like, basically he's saying everybody eats in the go off.
The other thing is how we practice, right? So the way that we practice, I always tell people, like, we have a Friday night offense, we have a Saturday at noon kickoff offense, and we have a Sunday NFL drop back. We can play that game with you as well and dominate you on third downs.
Yeah.
Right. And so the way we practice and how we segment practice is how we're able to, be so multiple and morph into different things and use all of our people. Right. We don't hoard our talent. We use our talent. Right. Like, we're going to use all of our personnel groupings. We're going to put multiple.
So that's a great thing, especially when you're recruiting too. You're basically letting everybody know you're going to get an opportunity here. Everybody eats. I might need my 4-3. I might need against Georgia Tech. I might not need a Joseph Williams and Akeem Williams on the outside. I might need a Scudero, Perry, and Gibson to get out there against their slower safeties, their slower linebackers. And now we on the ball first down, and then before we let them switch out personnel, we rush on the field our Cam Perry, Scudero, Gibson package, and now we got a mismatch. So that's basically saying the way he uses his personnel, they're going to use them game by game, but nobody's just sitting. You don't have a Ferrari parked right there and don't use it. If he has multiple Ferraris, you got to use it. Absolutely. Can the go be built upon? For sure. Oh, absolutely. For 1,000%. It will be nasty because he has a tight end that runs a 4-5 and multiple receivers running 4-4s. Absolutely. It's going to be amazing to see how he implements all those guys. Great point.
People on the field. We're going to present the same looks with same people and then bring extra linemen in, put a receiver in the backfield. I love what the Seahawks did this year. Right. I've been doing that for years. Of putting receivers in the backfield.
Facts.
Because I'm like, okay, if you're a man-to-man defense, you're not going to tell the corner to go cover the receiver in the backfield. You're going to let the linebacker cover them, and now we going to run a rail route down the field for a touchdown. We was doing that.
Coach, I watched that play a couple weeks ago. And
so now we talk about Quentin Gibson lining up in the backfield. We talk about Ernest Campbell lining up in the back. And we already got like a scat receiver like that with DeKalon Taylor, who honestly was leading us in receiving last season before he got injured, like 3 or 4 games into the season. So having DeKalon Taylor being able to, line up in the backfield and run option routes, run real routes, I think DeKalon Taylor is going to benefit the most from this offense in 2026 for sure.
And Jigba in the backfield goes out, runs that. What are you gonna do? There's nothing he can do. Like I saw, man, when I saw that, I thought about you immediately. My bad, I got excited.
We had Jordan Addison catch that rail route down the right in the championship game, the ACC championship game. Jordan Addison's running a rail route out of the backfield lining up as a running back, right? We've been doing that for.
He basically popping his stuff right now, saying look at his face. He like, I've been doing that for a minute. Where you think they got that from? Which is facts. He has been doing that for a long time. And you can even go put on college football 2025, 2026 right now and run that exact play he's talking about. Literally. Facts. Real right out. Cam Duncan was good. This guy going to do wonders for CU this year. Absolutely. And Duke the Scoop talked about that and to begin to open up the show too. He said the most talked about guy other than Sanders that in Colorado this season. Facts. We've all seen it. All the headlines, a lot of it, even me too, has been like, Brennan Marion's here, so we feel more secure. Brennan Marion's here, so we feel safer with the offense. But Coach Prime hired Brennan Marion, so we wouldn't even be talking like that if he didn't reach out and everything didn't align. So shout out to Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, for making this hire, smart hire. And yeah, you give the fan base something to be like, okay, we seen what happened with Shermer and Brett Bartolone last season. Now we got somebody that knows their X's and O's. He implemented an offense. So yeah, he is going to do wonders for Colorado this year. He already is. And he already talked about that. He's hungry. He wants to learn from Coach Prime, especially when his name is in the news so much. We've all seen it. Everything's been Brennan Marion this, Brennan Marion that. We know Brennan Marion this, Brennan Marion that. But when the guy comes on here and says, yeah, man, but I'm here to learn too. I'm here to soak up some game from Prime too and take advantage of his opportunity. it's only gonna make our season better.
Forever. We call it musical chairs, basketball on grass. Just know the concept. You can play anywhere, right? Like,
wow,
you can see players line up anywhere.
Right.
Let me ask you this. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead. You go ahead. You finish.
No, I mean that's kind of the philosophy on just trying to utilize your people and move them around.
Speaking of utilizing your people, I want to make sure I touched on this. There were a lot of people that felt like Julian Lewis wouldn't be a fit for your offense based on how much you run the ball. What do you say?
That was me. I was one of those guys. I keep it all the way real on this channel, bro. Because I know you can go back and look. I was one of them guys that Duke the Scoop is talking about. I didn't know if I was like, oh, Julian Lewis. I don't know if that fits what he wanted to do. But then later on down the line, I thought about it and it was just like, okay, well, I see when he did at UNLV, you know, the quarterback threw for 3 racks, but then you get to Sacramento State and then you lead the FCS in rushing. So it's personnel, right? So, yeah, I was one of them dudes. I'm admit. I didn't know if Brennan Marion's offense was going to be preferred. I thought he needed more of a run first quarterback. That was just my personal opinion. I ain't gonna hold you.
People or the naysayers that have no idea what your plan is, and I don't want you to share your plan, but just talk to us about how excited you are to coach a Julian Lewis and how successful you think he can be in his offense.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say, like, people just don't watch film, right? Like,
right.
People just, you know, say anything. We had an offense where I always tell people, like, if you really watch football back in the day, how many quarterbacks ran the option, right? Like, every quarterback had to run the option back in the day, like, regardless of your speed level. Like, everybody was doing the same thing at quarterback. Like,
yeah, that's facts. He talking right now. Appreciate everybody being in here too. If we can hit the thumbs up. Appreciate everybody being in here. Earlier, we did a live reaction to Reach the People Media. Right now, Brennan Marion had a very important interview. Shout out to Duke the Scoops for getting that coverage. So we had to do a live reaction. Go like, comment, and subscribe to Well Off Media as well as Duke the Scoops. Support them brothers channels for bringing us interviews and coverage like this. But yeah, Brennan Marion's getting in his bag right now.
Everybody had the same type of progression, right?
Right.
And, you know, like, for us, the quarterback doesn't have to run at all. Like, it's not even if you watch the UNLV film from 2023, the quarterback who starts at USC, okay, he had the same stats as a freshman at UNLV.
Facts.
That he had this year at USC. So I'm obviously, if they say that's the best quarterback developer at USC, right? The quarterback that we had, it's the same quarterback,
right?
2023, who led us to the conference championship game as a freshman.
Right.
He's not.
And he had a 1,000-yard receiver that year too. I think like 1,200 yards. He ended up playing for the Green Bay Packers. And he had another receiver who's at Cal now who went for like 700 yards, almost 700 yards. So he definitely knows how to scheme opener. He definitely can develop quarterbacks as well, for sure.
Now the starting quarterback at USC. And he had the same numbers this year that he did as a freshman at UNLV.
Yep. That's crazy.
So I don't have to, like I said, be a Marine, right? Like, I don't have to. I don't have to go like this. I'm just telling you the facts are the facts. Like that, you can say whatever you want, but the numbers are the numbers. Like that. That's what happened.
I love the fact that you're able to adjust with your quarterbacks, right? The situation at UNLV, I believe it was 2024.
Now, right on. Yeah, Ricky Wright, I think. Right on too much. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was Ricky Wright. Ricky Wright 8 with Brennan Marion, for sure. So I kind of looked at like the 2023 season when I seen, okay, he had a 1,200-yard receiver. Then I fast forwarded to the 2024 season at Sacramento State. Hammond had a 1,000-yard rusher. So it fluctuates. But if he finds somebody who going crazy, he will get them the rock for sure. Keith, what up? People forget you can set up the run by passing the ball. Belt. That's a fact, Keith. And who gonna do it better than Brennan Marion? That's a fact. Yeah, so what Brennan Marion basically was talking about was like his development of, the USC quarterback is going right now. He did transfer from UNLV, but Brennan Marion talks about, he said, hey, go ball out, go be great. It's all good.
You go in, you have a quarterback who's a presumed starter. You get 2 quarterbacks out of the portal. One, there's this issue. He's no longer playing, and you go with the next guy. Offense does, and I think these guys, they have some similarities, but from the outside looking in, they look to be pretty different, right?
Right.
You had even more success afterward. Now, we were excited about the first one, but man, and you're in the forefront of national media at this time, as that was an unprecedented case at the time.
Yeah, he's talking about at UNLV when he had the freshman quarterback, and I think this is before the other quarterback transferred.
And you guys get even colder. What? I mean, like, how did that even happen?
Yeah, we literally coach every single player like you have to. It's the old philosophy that you have growing up. You know, like there's two elements that we have growing up, right? One, love your team, and one, be the star of your team.
Mm.
And if you coach everybody like love the team, be a star of the team, doesn't matter if you're the 1, the 2, the 3, or the walk-on. Right. We're coaching.
That was a great point right there, bro. I'm glad we're getting these type of jewels being dropped by Brennan Marion. Some of them receivers won't get any tick this year. There's too many of them, plus no block, no rock. Yeah, spring ball is going to determine that. How you block for sure. How you're developing, how you understand the concept of the go-go offense. Yeah, the cream is always going to rise to the top. That's for sure. And what his philosophy was, what he just talked about right now, was basically, treat everybody as a star, and everybody has that mindset that they know when it's their time, that's what's expected of them. We expect for you, and we expect for Quentin Gibson to be able to play anywhere on the field and go get us 1,000. That's the highest expectation we got to have for our guys. And the cream will separate itself. The cream always rises to the top.
Everybody with that mentality, like, bro, when you go in the game, you better be a superstar in your role. Like, you better be that guy. And so for us, what we did, because really what happened to us is, and I really learned this from Sark, okay? So working at Texas, right? Like, obviously your gift will make room for you and it'll put you in front of great men. You'll stand beside great men. So if you think that, right, people ask me about Coach Prime. Obviously, my gift got me into a conversation with Coach Prime, and then boom, it got me here with the job.
Yeah, so he's basically talking about what he was able to do with the go-go offense, his philosophies. That's what's got him here with Coach Prime. And salute to Coach Prime, Deion Sanders again, bro, for making this hire, because we again, I don't mean to be repetitive, but we all feel a sense of, all right, we have a direction now. We know this guy knows his X's and O's. Not to say that Shermer or Brett Bartolone didn't, but 20 points per game in 2024, we left a lot on the field running the ball and passing the ball. We left multiple touchdowns on the field per game by being predictable. Run on first down, pass, punt. I mean, run on first down, pass, punt. Barely scratching 20 points per game in the Big 12 is never going to cut it. While you're giving up 400 yards of total offense on defense, it was no way, Jose. At least a lot of those games that were close games, we could have outscored our opponent, but we just couldn't get it. You seen those games, we were close, we just couldn't score. We would get in the red zone and we couldn't dial it up. I don't think we're going to have that problem this year, but last season we had a lot of those problems with dialing it up, bro. Cam Perry, DeAndre, and that San Jose kid should eat all season for sure. Absolutely. He rolls about 3 to 5 deep at wide receiver and running back. Honestly, a lot of people gonna get touched.
But one of the greatest athletes to ever do it, right?
Right.
Coach Sark is one of the greatest quarterback developers to ever do it, right? Like from his time at US, like everywhere he's been, right? And what I noticed with Coach Sark was, he recruited superstars at quarterback. Like it wasn't okay, we have one good quarterback and we'll get a guy to develop under him. It's like, nah, bro, like we get the same way that you recruit the running backs, receivers, O-line, DNs, he recruited the quarterback room the same way.
Which what I was thinking about this, in the offseason was like, okay, we know Julian Lewis is saying he's locked in, he's not going anywhere, but at the end of the day, it's still the transfer portal. He's still going to have to go back with his family, think about what's best for him. He decided to stay. But injuries do happen at quarterback. Staub, I ain't going to lie, salute to Staub, but he showed who he was in the big games. He did great against the lower level teams, the FCS teams, but when it came to like those big games, bro, Staub, so he's gone. So it was like, who's going to be we do need a second quarterback, bro. Things do happen. So Brennan Marion talks about recruiting quarterbacks. So now I look at the Wilson pickup, you know, and he went out and really believed Wilson was the greatest option at quarterback that's going to challenge and compete with Juju. I mean, it has to. A healthy competition is always good. I think he's going to get into that point right now. Everyone will eat at Colorado if they do it properly. That's a fact, Cam Duncan. Appreciate everybody being in here, too. If you can hit the thumbs up and hype this video as well, really appreciate that. We're going to get back to this live reaction to Brennan Marion on Duke the Scoops channel.
So to me, going into what happened to us in 23 in UNLV, we had a quarterback who went to the Manning camp, and then we had a freshman who was really solid, right? Obviously starting at USC now. The quarterback who went to the Manning camp, Doug Brumfield, he got hurt.
Facts.
Third game of the season. Jaden comes in, the freshman in 23, and he takes us on a run, becomes freshman player of the year in the Mountain West, right? Takes us to the championship game. And obviously he's the hottest quarterback in the portal and goes to USC.
Right.
So
healthy competition is always good. A great player, don't worry about competition, bro. He gonna stick it out. He gonna be like, I can do that anywhere. Now, eventually, you're gonna get to a place where it's just like they got great recruiting staff, they have great position coaches, and the separation is gonna be this thin between you, the starter, and that's a healthy problem to have, though. If coaches sitting at night like, bro, I don't know who to start out of Perry and Scudero. I don't. Matter of fact, now I just got to get packages together to get them on the field at the same time, or always have one of them interchanging on the field, because that's how good there is. That's a good problem to have at quarterback as well. We've seen that. Look at Florida, where there was Tim Tebow was there. Cam Newton was there at the same time. Who was it? Chris Leak. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always been rooms filled with multiple great quarterbacks. So that's a good problem to have. Those are some of the greatest teams that have multiple quarterbacks. Like I said, think about Oklahoma before Caleb Williams transferred, when it was him and old boy who plays for the Saints right now. I just can't think of his name.
Going into the next year, I'm like, Coach, I'm telling Coach Odom, right? He's the head coach. I'm like, Coach, respectfully, I need to make sure that we get two of the best portal quarterbacks that are out there. We got to get the best two guys, right? And to me, those were the best two guys, right, that we could get based off of our financial structure, like based off what we had. Those are the best two guys that we could get. And so every day, the competition of like, damn, I can't miss a throw, right? Like, and that's what I saw with Sark, like that competition of like, I never seen quarterbacks competing like that, because you got to think like everywhere that I had seen.
So that's how you know when you see something like that coming from the Brennan Marion, that's all our third string dude needed to hear. That's all Wilson needed to hear. Try to beat Julian Lewis out. Try to beat him out. That's what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to be a healthy competition. Okay, this guy's our starter. He's getting paid, however, he might be the highest paid. But if I'm Wilson and I'm going there lighting it up and I'm lighting it up and I'm lighting it up, that's a good thing to have, to where Brennan Marion and Prime are like, man, a week before Georgia Tech, man, Wilson is hitting on all cylinders with the second string, the third team. He going. Same thing with Juju, but Juju is right there, firing back. That's a great issue to have at quarterback. Now it's just for the player to just still be there, support whoever's named the starter. Spencer Rattler, right on. Under Shermer, the offense had trouble scoring touchdowns in the red zone under Marion. Facts. Absolutely. So that is a good problem to have. So I'm looking for Wilson and also our third string quarterback to really take the lead, bro, and really challenge Julian Lewis. Just like Julian Lewis challenged Caden Salter last season, to where Coach Prime decided to go with Salter right up to the end of the beginning of the Georgia Tech game.
Football, it's that real guy quarterback, and then you got little Johnny or, a freshman trying to, I'm gonna get there one day. I'm gonna be like him one day. It was never two guys really going neck and neck. Like, you better not miss a throw. You better not be late to him. Like, I'm on you. Like, you got to be right there. And so that competitiveness that those two had every day in practice, like, all right, you're with the twos today. Let's see how good you really are. You're with the ones today. I would just switch them like that every day.
Now, we know right now Coach Prime does the starting offense versus the second team defense. Same thing reversed. The second team defense or the first team defense versus the second team offense. I don't know if that's gonna, they might switch it up this year. They might go more of what Brennan Marion might feel is best for the offense, but I'm looking forward to seeing the ones versus the ones this year, especially in these well-off reach to people pregame network videos. I really want to see our best on best. I want to see DeAndre Moore Jr. lined up against England. I want to see Scooterrow lined up against Boo Carter in the slot. I want to see Fontenette taking on Cam Perry or Zach Atkins. I want to see the best versus the best so we can get an understanding of, that's how we get better. So I'm pretty sure the practice structure might defer a little bit this year to Marion style, but I ain't in Boulder, so I ain't saying that's for sure thing. But
so when we lost our one guy, right? When he said, "Coach, I love you," I got to move on. It's just business. I said, "Love you too, Doug." And next guy, here we go. And
and that's what I was saying too. A lot of that could have been Amarion Miller, could have been Jordan Seaton with Coach Prime. Like, hey, we all know, it's business, dog. You got to go get what you got to get. You got to go do what you got to do. So I always felt like Prime had that relationship with his players, and that he wasn't caught by surprise with a lot of stuff. One or two might have slipped through the crack and caught Prime by surprise. But I feel like behind the scenes, despite the madness, what everybody's posting, oh, this guy's in the portal, this guy's in the portal, Prime might have been sitting down and like, hey, bro, you got to go do what's best for you, dog. We can't afford to pay you that money. Go get that bag. Go get that money. I support you. I mean, at the end of the day, these are 1 year. I mean, that's how the portal works. So that's how Brennan Marion treated the portal too. Like, hey, salute to you, big dog. Even losing his quarterback that left to USC, who's balling right now. It was the same thing. Like, hey, bro, salute to you. You got to do what you got to do.
And my man from the south side of Atlanta held it down. My man Hodge held it down.
Yeah.
And went on. We won 11 games, right? And finished ranked top 25 in the country, right? Beat Cal in the bowl game. And that was a testament to him competing every day, going back and forth, grinding, right? And having a quarterback room where you have real guys in there, not just, right? We just look at one guy and hope that one guy doesn't get hurt because we scared to death to put the next guy in. And Sark was really
see that. Yeah, that's a very good point. Now, if something happens to Julian Lewis, it shouldn't be, oh man, Wilson's in the game, or our third string's in the game. We need somebody that's going to step in there, command that huddle, and be like, nah, all right, hey, Julian got to get better, but I'm in here now. We rocking, bro. Let's go. Deuce right, 38 on 6 waggle. Like, he got to jump in that, command that huddle, bro. You feel me? We've seen those stories happen all the time. The second guy comes in and ends up being the better quarterback. Johnny Manziel's story. It happens all the time, bro, when the backup quarterback comes in and just takes off. And then now, when you go back to your starter, they go, should we even go back to the starter? That's a good thing to have a say. Dang, should we even go back to the starter right now? Or should we stick with this guy? That's how it should be. Next man up.
The first QB guy that I've been around who really had that thought process. Like, nah, bro, everybody's competing. Everybody's fighting for their spot.
Man, I think that brings me to this next point, and we'll get out here in a second. I was in Colorado maybe about a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Sure.
And I'm watching recruiting, and they say, send it to B, send it to B. I keep hearing, send it to B, send it to B. And they're talking about you. And you're putting your eyes on.
Definitely one of the most popular names as far as a coaching staff pickup. I mean, we've been talking about Brennan Marion like he was a player that got signed in the portal, but that's how big of a pickup it was, getting a guy with such a high football IQ and somebody who fits the mold or who Coach Prime knows is hungry. He wants to learn. His ego's to the side, even with such a high-profile name coming over. What better star to come over than me with Coach Prime? I mean, the lights is never too bright when you're around Coach Prime, Deion Sanders in Colorado. We invite these type of high-profile guys because, hey, we look good, we feel good, coaching staff, we play good, we put belt. That's what it is. That's what I want for 2026. Y'all can agree with me. I want 2026. I want us to be out here popping it. I want us to get back to doing what we do, how we do it, celebrities on the sideline, concerts, but we got to put belt. It looks crazy when we do all that, and then now we give the media everything they know. Like, look at them. When are they going to get back to just the football and the, you know what I mean? So this has to work. Like, but brashness and being confident, but being prepared and actually doing our job on the field.
Everything. on that offense. Now I'll watch what we got out of the transfer portal, what Colorado was able to get out of the transfer portal. And there's so much competition. You look at the nation's leader in receiving yards, and then you go get a Cam Perry, then you get DeAndre Moore. It's like that competition is breeding itself. So running back, I would think you were good with the guys you brought from Sac State. Then you add more guys.
Luke.
Competition seems to be the foundation of the go.
That's a great point by Duke the Scoop. Competition is important. It all goes to, like, remember we were talking about, man, we got Gibson, we got Joseph Williams, but hold on, we bringing in Scudero. Oh, we bringing in Cam Perry. Oh, we bringing in Ernest Campbell. You know what I mean? So now it's time for you to sit down with your returners and say, hey, welcome to Power 4 football. We're bringing in a new athletic director. He's seen what happened last year, so we got to bring in some more guys. There's no way he's saying, oh, let's roll with who we have from last year after what we put up. They're saying, what's our budget? This is how much we got. Let's for this position group. So, but we're bringing in an influx. Even at corner, we seen England, then we seen Amodia, then we seen Floyd, then we seen Hardy. It's just like, then we seen Jaja Boyd, and it's like, they might sign some more people soon. We never know. But a healthy competition is the best competition, especially in college sports.
Go offense. Now that you got your guys set, what do you want to see from all of these different pieces that you have?
Yeah, Coach Norvell used to always tell us, don't count your reps, make your reps count.
Whew.
And really, that's what
that was some heat right there. That was some heat. Don't count your reps, make your reps count. When you're going to get opportunity, don't blow it. Don't blow it.
What it's about, right? Like,
that's a bar.
Everybody's going to eat, right? Like, everybody's going to get an opportunity. It's what you do with those opportunities. Like, if you maximize those opportunities, then you get more and we'll feed you, right? Like,
right.
Really, when you look at it, like, we had 9 guys at UNLV with 50 touches. We had 9 guys with over 50.
9 guys with over 50 touches. So if you're a running back, if you're a wide receiver, and you can, bro, I've been on offenses, bro. There's not a lot of guys that get over 25 touches in a season. Real talk. There's not guys on offense that see more than 20, touches, whether that's running the ball or catching the ball or opportunities, right? So, yeah, you got to be juiced to be in this offense to understand that, man, 9 guys get over 50 touches is that's that 5th quarter he's talking about. That's that. You're allowed to get those many opportunities because you're creating another quarter with the pace and the tempo of the go-go offense.
Touches. That's crazy.
Bro, I remember Jet, another Southside kid, went crazy, right? Yeah, come on now. Shout out to Jet, little Jaden Jet Thomas. Love, yeah. Like,
yeah.
Man, first, hold up. Coach Marion.
Right.
Man, what is it about?
Duke the Scoop was loving it, too. I ain't going to hold you. He was loving it. He need to trademark that. That's the fact, Darrell. Let me see the mad scientists sit back and let them work. What up, Zulu? For sure. Duke the Scoop is loving it right now, too. Anytime somebody start looking around and stuff, he's like, yeah, he dropping some heat right now. He's loving it.
You in Atlanta. Like, I know you grew up there for a while, but it seems like when I hear people talk about you, it ain't like you played, high school or college here, but the reverence that you get in Atlanta, like Coach Step, swear by you. That's my dog. Coach Step, one of the leading trainers, TSP, him and TJ.
Shout out TSP, shout out Coach Step out there in Atlanta.
You got high school coaches, Drico at Langston. You got Zach, who was at Westlake. Everybody is, they speak of you really highly. What was it about you and your ties to Atlanta that kind of set you apart? Because people talk about you as if, oh, Kirby here? Oh, man, Coach Marion here. Like, you get that same type of respect. What is it?
I think y'all just play, I respect the football in Georgia because I live down there and I understand.
Right. We all know that's where Travis Hunter went to school in Georgia too. So probably the most highly coveted recruit coming out of Georgia in a long time. You got Cam Newton coming out of Georgia. Georgia got some great high school football out there, healthy competition. Salute to Atlanta, salute to the whole Georgia district out there. They really be putting some ballers, in college football. They, one of them states that take Pee-wee all the way up to high school football is serious.
And like, it's a melting pot of like there's people that come from everywhere, and like, so the competition, y'all understand the competition and being hungry, right? And like, and Pittsburgh, the way that we play football is not like, we don't do like the hiding. Like, you play the best. Like, you go against the best schools. There's no like, oh, you don't get to play the best school until the end of the season. Like, each week. And Pittsburgh, because it's small, it's a close-knit community. Like, you, right? And so when I went to Georgia, I saw like, dang, there's kids.
And then you thinking about a former college player. He looks crazy right now, Brennan Marion. That you said mad scientist. Look at his face right now. That is a mad scientist face right there. That is a coach. He looked crazy right there. But you're talking to a former wide receiver who led college football at Tulsa with 30 yards per catch. Had to go to three different junior colleges. Who was on such a mission to be successful. He knows what competition is. He knows what the extra reps you got to take, the extra film work you got to take. So he's just sitting back. Brennan Marion is just sitting back watching. He's going to see who wants it. He's going to see who's putting in the extra work, who's putting in the extra reps, who's studying the film. And somebody who has been that successful in college and made it into a camp with the Miami Dolphins and did what he did, that's who's going to separate themselves and be able to get the most, is going to take advantage of their opportunities. Those guys who are out working, out studying, really tapping in with Julian Lewis, trying to get on the same court, blocking. Those are the guys that are going to elevate in his offense. They're going to do it themselves. They're going to naturally separate themselves because that's what leaders do. Appreciate everybody being in here too. If you can hit the like button and also hype this video as well. If you guys want to support and join the channel memberships, those are open too. We're going to get back to this Brennan Marion. Shout out to Duke the Scoop, Brennan Marion, do a live reaction. I want to talk about that Jeff Teague situation too later if y'all still around. We're going to talk about that because he was it was going up on 520 today.
From everybody's competing. Like, you could go to a rec center and it could get going out there. Like, it could really be real. Like, it's real competition. And so I always tell, like, I have a good rapport with, there's two types of kids. There's kids from Atlanta, right? And then there's kids from Atlanta, right?
Right.
And what does he mean by that? Do y'all know what he means by that? What is Alon and Atlanta? Is that like the hood and the suburbs, or what, is that like a Georgia thing? Well, I don't. I mean, I hear that might be saying like there's kids from Oakland and then there's kids from the town, or there might be kids from San Francisco, then there's kids from the city. Does he mean it like that, like what they call the hood out there? Let me know.
I just know how to coach the kids from Atlanta, right? And they've done a really good job, right? Like, they've made me look like a good coach. It started off with Cam Newton's little brother, Kalen.
Right.
Okay. Little Kalen Newton at Howard.
Man,
right.
Look,
and so,
when y'all beat UNLV, is that how you got that job? Did that have anything to do with that later on?
No. So I got that job because Coach Odom came to.
So it sounds like he coached Cam Newton's little brother as well. I don't know. I think he's talking about at Howard when he went to Howard. If I'm not
one
mistaken.
of my presentations when I was at William and Mary.
Okay.
And when he got the head coaching job at UNLV, he was like, "Man, I know it's gonna be hard to leave Texas, but I got an OC job for you." And I'm thinking, like, man, I'm gonna have to fly Southwest again. Like, we're not gonna be on the private jet eating.
Hey, that's some of the hustle you got to go if you're trying to elevate. Sometimes, in order to elevate, you got to take a step down to get to where you're trying to go. You know what I mean? He said he had to go fly Southwest again. That's tough. I ain't gonna hold you. Okay, yeah, it's the lingo they pronounce in Atlanta. I think he's talking about the inner city kids and the kids from the suburbs. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. That's kind of what I thought, man. Appreciate it. Right on for that, guys. Appreciate it.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Hey.
But like, that's the thing. Like, I tell a lot of people, like, man, like, we complain about limited opportunities, but then get the chance to do something and be like, well, God's not checking your bank account. If he got a purpose and a dream for you, like, you got to go, got to jump and let God catch you. Like, you got to believe that it's going to happen for you. And so I'm blessed that I took the jump and opportunity to go there to UNLV.
Last question.
Duke the Scoop is saying last question for 30 minutes. Right on, Sos Capo, straight up and down, South Lingo, bro, but your logic on point, suburbs versus neighborhood. Yeah, for sure. Duke the Scoop been saying last question for 30 minutes. I'm weak. I'll be the same way too, bro. If I got to interview Brennan Marion, I'm trying to have him on as long as I can to pick his brain and just understand his grind and his hustle too.
Well, actually, I got one more after this last football question. What was it like when you got the call from Coach Prime, and how did that conversation go?
Oh, that's a great question right there. Duke the Scoop was dropping some heat questions on him too. That's a solid question because I would want to know too. Like, man, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders tap in on your phone is crazy.
Yeah, to me, I mean, like, I tell people all the time, like, I talked to Coach Prime this summer. We had talked through my man Carl Reed, right? Carl Reed's my agent, Clutch Sports.
Everybody know Carl Reed from Clutch Sports. Carl Reed from Clutch Sports, Brennan Marion's agent.
You know, and so, like, for me talking to Coach Prime, obviously as a kid, like, it's Prime, dog. Like, it's like he's the greatest, you know, like, everybody wanted to.
That's for me, bro. It was MJ, but that was kind of before my time. I caught like the tail end of MJ, but it was Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, Allen Iverson. Easy call. Greatest athletes for me. Who was y'all favorite athletes growing up? Was Coach Prime, Deion Sanders y'all favorite athlete? Tell me who y'all favorite athlete was, hoop and basketball. Give me one football player, one basketball player. Mine was Allen Iverson and Deion Sanders. Easy call.
21 jersey. Like, that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't even a thing, right? Like, that's the guy. I remember my mom like, why you like the Cowboys? I'm like, because they got Deion Sanders. She like,
X.
You can't like the Cowboys in my house. Like, you got to like the Steelers. You know, like,
right.
But, you know, getting a call from him, I just felt like our spirits were led, you know, like, he's a vertical alignment guy, right? Where he's a Christ-centered guy. And for me, like, I still need development. Like, coaches, you know, right? Coach is about to be 58, 57, 58. I'm 30. Like, I'm still in my development.
So that's a great point right there where Brennan Marion just talks about, MJ and Barry Sanders. Oh, right on, Zuli. Yeah, Barry Sanders. Woo! Barry Sanders was cold with it. And he had an offensive line that was hoot, too. I ain't going to hold you. That's a great point right there. Yeah, vertical alignment. He talked about getting the call from Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. It was just, you know, when people on the same path, focused on the same things, you know, stuff like that does happen. I'm not going to lie. When I first started hearing about Brennan Marion, I was like, okay, that's the answer we've been looking for. So that's why I always say, salute to Coach Prime for actually going out and getting Brennan Marion. And, you know, just talked about getting the call from Coach Prime, too. You know, that I ain't going to hold you to. That is crazy, bro. You know, just to get somebody that's such a high caliber athlete and just who he meant to what he meant to sports, period, from his shoes to the commercials. Man, we could spend an hour just looking at all the commercials and everything he did in the 90s, bro. It was crazy.
Phase. And I always felt like until I'm 40, like, I'm not going to be in that perfect spot.
Right.
I'm in a development, keep stacking, keep being around these great people, learn the lessons. I take notes off everybody. If the janitor got something good that I could learn, I'll take it. Right. Right. So to me, like, getting a chance to work with Coach Prime, what I love about Coach Prime more than anything else is the dad that this dude is, like, the humility that he shows. Like, how can you, I don't know how you can hate on a man that will go all the way from.
Yeah, you know how that goes, bro. Being a Colorado Buffalo fan, you're going to get the good and the bad and the worst of some media, bro, because there's some articles that get put out about Colorado and Coach Prime. There's definitely some guys who build their whole lives on just anything Coach Prime does. That's how they built their whole career. And salute to them. If that's what you feel like you have to do, who am I to say that you can't do it? But, you know, just understand when you come to Colorado, even as a coach, as a coordinator, or wherever you come, everything is magnified in the media. Everything you're going to do is going to get scrutinized that much more. Why? For some reason, it's just who the head coach is and what he represents. Not everybody is with it. It just is what it is. So, Brennan Marion sounds like that type of guy that's going to be like, y'all just going to have to keep watching, and, you know, because we going to keep it lit.
Little league with his kids. And I don't know what community that most people are from that hate on Coach Prime, but in our community, to even have a dad who's present
Facts.
And then we'll bring you up all the way from Little League, high school, take you to an HBC.
That's facts, bro. Most people don't even know who they pops is. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real. Some of our daddies was living around the corner and we didn't see him for 10 years, bro. Some of our daddies lived around the corner. We didn't even know. He would see us at a time and wouldn't even be there. That's crazy. So yeah, salute to Coach Prime, bro, for raising, for being a great dad for sure. Cause he ain't lying, bro. Some of us ain't never seen that. Pop Warner moms was doing everything. Or we had an uncle doing something, we had an uncle who stepped in for us or an older brother or cousin, but a lot of us didn't even have no pops. You feel me? Dad was around the corner, bro. It was like, you gonna be all right there. You gonna be all right there. He was, you feel me? So yeah, salute to Coach Prime, bro, because that's crazy. Now I think about it, bro. Pops lived around the corner. I didn't even know, bro. Facts.
So you can
crazy.
know what's going on, and then take you to the highest level, then get you to the National Football League, and take you all the way up through them stages. I mean, to me, that is worth more than gold and more than what he accomplished as a player, just the humility of that, because he don't got to do that, right? Like, I'm sure he could have just.
He ain't got to do it.
Right.
It's prime.
He don't got to be. He don't got to be here. He's proud. Like, he don't. No, that's the greatest to ever, lace up the cleats. Like,
man, salute, bro. Like I'm saying, yeah, like a new challenge, doing it on the field is different from doing it in coaching, and he's lining up against some real legends like Nick Saban, some of the powerhouse coaches in college football, you know what I mean? So what Coach Prime Deion Sanders is doing is he wants to be known as a great coach. Everything he does, he wants to be elite at. He wants to be one of the greatest. So just understanding, Brennan Marion understands he wants to be walking in those shoes. What a great mentor to have in Coach Prime. I'm from the SIP, Game Respect for Prime and Company at J.